So what's the difference between YouTube SEO and Google SEO?
Great question. So, and then my phone, of course, just goes off whenever you say Google.
Tragic.
But Google SEO is probably the best type of SEO you can have if you're not just trying to get advertising revenue.
Okay.
And I'm going to break this down. So whenever you have YouTube SEO, that's your video ranking on top of different search terms for, let's say, I don't know, you do I always go with Justin Bieber. Let's do another. You could do a Bad Barbie cover,
Okay.
or a Little Yachty cover. We just talked about them in another segment.
Yeah.
You do a cover song, one of their songs on YouTube that gets a lot of searches, and then you can kind of work your way up the rankings for that.
Okay.
So YouTube SEO is good for building like a YouTube audience and more subscribers there and more likes and all that stuff. But sometimes that traffic does not transfer over to your website.
Okay.
So you have to really be focused on that goal to get people to transfer over to your website.
Yeah.
You can always look at your Google Analytics. If you guys don't have Google Analytics set up, it is essentially just telling you, not basic info. They have a decent amount of data that they give you for free.
Yeah.
On your website, they can tell you some demographics of people who visit your website. They can tell you what countries they visit from. They can tell you how many conversions came from a certain page to a degree. Now, we have third-party tracking for our website that gets it like really specific.
Yeah.
But Google Analytics and like Facebook ads analytics, they'll get you a general idea of what's performing well.
Okay.
And if you want to get more serious, you're probably gonna have to like pay for a different program.
Yeah.
But that's YouTube SEO. So it's good for building like your YouTube audience, but like the best one you can do is going to be Google SEO.
Okay.
It's because you are taking people straight to your website from Google. And when they're on your website, you control the flow of information. So if YouTube decides, like they've been for the past year, like let's say you say something on YouTube that they don't like.
Yeah.
They can just boot you nowadays.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't, like, it could be even you meant to say something different than what somebody took it as, and your video gets reported, and they can just demonetize you out of the blue. Like, you don't own your YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Your website files you do own.
Okay.
So your website host, like, they can decide that they don't want to host you anymore, but you still keep the files.
Right.
It's kind of like email lists. So if you sign up for MailChimp can decide that they don't want to let you send emails through them anymore.
Yep.
But they can't say, like, we're going to take your email list.
Right.
So they can't do. So that's why those are like the best options, because you're protecting your investment all around.
Yes.
So with Google SEO, Google can do some things, like they can have algorithm updates. And let's say you've been doing, there's something called black hat SEO and white hat SEO.
Okay.
Black hat is people like trying to game the system and trick Google into ranking their website higher.
Okay.
White hat is just doing, wholesome things, like you're just pushing, you're trying to get more people to feature your links on their website and just doing outreach like that.
Okay.
And you're trying to just optimize your pages and, have good link building within your pages and have good headline tags and have good image tags and like all the things that go into website SEO.
Okay.
Now, if you do the white hat SEO, you should be okay.
Okay.
Like your website shouldn't get hit with any bans or like stuff like that. And it shouldn't be too much funny business.
Yeah.
If you do the black hat SEO, and they like Google doesn't update, they do these. I think they do like a dozen updates a day or something like that.
Okay.
To where they're continually working on the algorithm.
Yeah.
If you have a black hat site that's like ranking for a bunch of terms and they do an update, sometimes all your traffic can just drop.
Okay.
So, but if you're doing it the right way, like for us, the majority of our traffic still comes from SEO. Even though we run a bunch of ads, you gotta think even the best ads that we're gonna run, for the types of ads that we run, it's gonna be if you're getting $1 a click on acquisition ads, that's like really good.
Wow.
For us.
Yeah.
Because of the types of ads that we're running.
Okay.
And I know some people might like say, oh, I'm getting 25 cents a click. That means I'm doing great. Not necessarily. There's different types of ads for different purposes.
Right.
And some types are going to be more expensive than others based on the CPM of the ad.
Okay.
So if you run a conversion ad on Facebook and Instagram or YouTube or wherever, they're going to charge you more because they know that the objective of the ad is worth more to you.
Yeah.
All right. So for SEO, though, this is you getting free traffic, essentially, from Google, from people typing in different stuff. It is harder to do than YouTube SEO. Okay. That's another thing. But there's going to be less competition.
Okay.
Because you have to set up your website, you have to write this article or page or whatever you're going to do, and there's far less people, especially in the music space, that are willing to do website SEO.
Thanks.
It's not the easiest thing to do. That's why there's far less people to do it. But like once you figure it out and you can type up a good article, or sometimes you can even embed like videos in your website articles and title that page, the article. And sometimes even for low traffic keywords or non-competitive keywords, that can rank pretty high on Google for those too. Okay. So there's a lot that goes into website SEO, but if it's something like you want to invest in and you want to like not have to worry about doing more and more advertisements down the line, it's probably still the best thing that's out there today.
I got you.
Because with YouTube, like I said, if you're just trying to be an advertiser and you just want the ad revenue from YouTube, it's okay to just go YouTube SEO. Like ideally you do both, but the better one, because you're going to your website and you can have your own products and services, is going to be Google SEO.
I got you. Makes sense.